My guest found an outlet to help him combat depression and turn that outlet into a film. He's the creator of the documentary Breaking the Cycle, which is available on youtube.com. His name is Harrison Reed. Harrison, how are you?
Hi, I'm good, thanks. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. It's good to talk to you. Now, I heard about your story, and what drew me to it was the fact that, you being a young adult, what are you, 23 years of age?
23, yeah.
23. So what I liked about your story is that you represent a problem that's been occurring during COVID-19. And I'm going to stick with UK numbers here because you're in England, so I'm going to stick to that. But this is a worldwide problem. So according to the Health Foundation out of the UK, 43.3% of 18 to 24-year-olds surveyed in April of 2020 experienced unhappiness or depression. And that's compared to 27.5% in 2017-18. So COVID obviously has been a big problem for young adults when it comes to depression. And that's the reason that I wanted to tell your story, because what you've done to overcome that, I think, is inspiring, and a lot of people can probably relate. So in your case, I understand that you had a history of depression and anxiety, and the pandemic made it worse?
Yeah, I've been diagnosed with depression. The first time was 10 years ago, so when I was only 13. And I've overcome many different hurdles through life, and always kind of tried to champion mental health and bring it up as much as I can do to make sure that somebody who maybe isn't as comfortable as talking about it as I am can see, oh, okay, that person's talking about it. It might give them another option, another person to talk to, maybe take a bit of hope from that. But I was already struggling, to be honest, at the back end of last year into this new year. And I was trying to do all of these things that you're meant to do to improve your well-being. So I got active and got back into football and dislocated my kneecap. So I was at home for 2 months, and then the lockdown started the day I was meant to go back to work.
Right.
So I had already done a little bit of stint in lockdown, and then we had that big long period. So in England, we were locked down from the 23rd of March to some point late July, before it was kind of lowered and we were able to go out a little bit more. So I was just struggling anyway, and then I picked up a bicycle one day, and the guy who I went to go and buy the bike from just inspired me, really. And I just didn't look back.
Now, I'm a big believer in finding an outlet to help people cope with grief and to help them channel into positivity. And I've talked before in other videos about how I created a documentary when my dad was diagnosed with cancer, and now I've created Grappling with Grief after my sister passed from cancer. And in your case, the outlet that you chose was cycling. And so I was curious, explain, where did that come from? What led you to the idea to choose that path?
Well, I'd seen a lot more cyclists out and about. When you go out, you're allowed to go out for your daily walk, and I saw a lot of people on their bikes and stuff like that. And it was one evening in probably early May where I was having such a bad that day was particularly bad. And I was on the phone to Samaritans, which is a helpline that we have here, calling friends. I didn't really know where to turn to. I was extremely depressed, a little bit suicidal. And after I got through that depressive period, I was like, I need to find something to do tomorrow. I need something to do. Quick look on Gumtree, and which is like a neighborhood sales thing that we use. And I found a fella down the road who was selling a bike. And I just went down and chatted to him, and I didn't end up buying a bike from him that day, but I managed to pick up a bike the following day. And I kept in touch with Peter, who had been fixing up old bikes during the lockdown to sell and raise money for Prostate Cancer UK. And he's one of the people that feature in the documentary.
Right, yeah, so his name is Peter Wallbank, and you just mentioned that he inspired you to create a film. So it's amazing how the ripple effect thing works. So tell me how this went. So first you find this guy, you're going to get a bike from him, you talk to him, you find out that he fixes up bikes, he donates the money to prostate cancer because he had battled prostate cancer. How did you then decide to go down this path of, I'm going to make a documentary about this stuff?
Well, I thought his story was amazing, and I did a short video with him that day just to promote what he was doing, get him in the local paper, and hopefully get him a few more bikes. And then it was during a period of maybe about a month. Within the next month, I was applying for jobs, trying to get myself in the industry because I've finished a degree in sports journalism, and then I'm almost finishing my master's now in sports broadcasting. So it was a perfect time to apply for jobs. And without even people seeing my CV or even seeing what I've done, people were coming back to me on LinkedIn saying, you don't have the experience. So I had to go freelance, had to do it by myself, and just kind of, I was cycling more and more each day, and I was getting wind of more people, more inspirational people. And then I realized actually I could do something really huge with this. And one of my good friends, Jim, who also features in the film, he'd never cycled before. And I'd always been ranting and raving and saying, look, it really helps. It's scientifically proven to reduce the amount of cortisol, which is a stress hormone. And he had just been kind of learning to walk again after having a serious car accident. It kind of fell perfectly in kind of his rehabilitation. And I found a charity in Portsmouth that did hand cycling, and they allowed people who had disabilities, mental health issues, loneliness, anything like that, to come and use their hand cycles or bikes for free, completely free of charge. They don't accept money from anyone. They just do it off their own back with the hope of getting people cycling. So I took him down there when they reopened and made like a whole film day of it. And that was the next part of the documentary.
Awesome. Yeah, and that was your friend Jim Tyson, right? That started using the hand bike. Now, during the production of the film, I understand that you had your own bike stolen, and a friend of yours organized a GoFundMe campaign to raise funds for another one, but then you decided to pivot and you donated the money instead. Tell me about all of that.
I finished my second to last shoot in Winchester, and I just met up with Peter Larkham, who's a mental health speaker. He's won awards for talking about mental health and the training programs that he's adapted. And I'd worked with him at the uni previously to implement that into the student population to try and get some sort of mental health training for the students. So I just got in touch with him and said, look, can we do something? And we managed to sort that out. And I learned a lot that day about myself, mental health, other people. Came back and I stopped off to nip into the shops. And I was in the shops for about 10 minutes. And I came back, my bike was gone. And it destroyed me. It really destroyed me. I was back to square one. I had nothing to do every day. That was literally the one thing that was, it was the whole concept of the documentary, but it wasn't just a documentary to me. This was like livelihood. This is something I was doing every day to starve off the depression. And a lot of my friends knew how much it meant to me, and they managed to set up a GoFundMe, unbeknownst to me. And I just didn't feel comfortable taking the money. I didn't want anything to be like, I didn't want the power shift of people saying, oh, he's had his bike stolen, let's get him a bike. I wanted it to be, look at these amazing charities that I'm trying to promote, let's donate to them. So the GoFundMe raised £500, and I think just over 24 hours. And I didn't feel right taking the money, so I just decided to donate the money to Wheels for All Portsmouth, Prostate Cancer UK, and CALM, which is Campaign Against Living Miserably.
Awesome. And have you been able to get another bike since?
I literally have only just picked up I picked up a old rally shopper a couple of weeks ago, just to get myself around out and about while I was looking for one that kind of fitted me.
Right.
and I managed to find one literally on Monday. So I picked it up Monday, and I've been out, God, almost the whole time since. I've just had to come back
Good.
to do this review, and I'm going straight back out on it for a little evening ride.
Awesome. That's good. Well, according to the Office for National Statistics in the UK, the male suicide rate in England and Wales is the highest now that it's been since the year 2000. And males aged 45 to 49 had the highest age-specific suicide rate of 25.5%, or I should say 25.5 deaths per 100,000 males. And I'm assuming COVID probably has a lot to do with that. People are losing their jobs. There's also the social impact because people are being forced to lock down alone. Your goal for breaking the cycle is to bring awareness not just to mental health in young adults, but you want to bring awareness to mental health among men. Tell me about that.
Well, obviously, I alluded to it earlier. I've struggled with my mental health for a number of years, and I haven't always done what I know is best for me and actually talking about it to people. Because once you're in that dark depression, it's just you and depression at that point. And it's sometimes hard to snap yourself out of it and say, I need to talk to somebody. I need to do this. I need to do that. So just talking openly with people on camera, kind of just raw, emotional, very much uncut, saying like, look, we've got different men of different ages talking about the importance of mental health. Suicide is on the rise. It's hard to find anybody who hasn't been affected by suicide. It seems like every week we're hearing about another person in the local area who's committed suicide. And I think a lot of people are afraid, really, unequipped. People don't know how to deal with it and don't know how to talk to people, because we've got all of these marketing campaigns, say, from our government and from local organisations, but nobody's actually standing up and saying, look, I'm struggling. This is what I'm doing.
I think especially when it comes to men, I think there's a stigma associated with, men and mental health. It's like you're supposed to be alpha and you're supposed to be strong, and you know what I'm saying? So I totally get what you're talking about. What kind of feedback have you gotten to the film from people who can relate, from people who have been dealing with this issue?
Some people have been getting in touch with me saying how cycling's helped them in so many different ways.
Really?
I've had so many fantastic people reach out and say, well done, thank you. Can I share this with so-and-so? I've had people who work within mental health in the NHS saying, can I share this to my patients? Can I do this? Can I do that? And I think I think this is the tip of the iceberg. I think this is definitely something I've seen that has made such an impact already that it would be such a waste if I didn't carry on with it. So I've already got plans to do more and to do more films and just to promote it in kind of different ways so that it connects with as many people as possible.
Right. That's great. Yeah. And that was going to be my next question about, do you have plans for other films tackling other issues? It sounds like you do.
Yeah, so one bit of feedback that I did receive from people was, fantastic film, but where's the female in it? And yes, obviously, men and women all struggle from mental health, but I didn't do it as, I don't want any females to feature in it. It was a case of I wanted to promote men's mental health because it's a little bit different. Mm-hmm. I mean, men notoriously don't talk about their mental health. So with that in mind, I was going through all my messages and stuff like that. And one of the person to congratulate me, I won't mention her name at the moment, is somebody who's just broken a Guinness World Record for cycling. She's in her 50s and she blogs about mental health. And I've been in touch with her, and we're hopefully going to get something organised before the end of the year if lockdown isn't extended.
Awesome. Well, I love ripple effect stories like this. The fact that you were just looking to buy a bike, ended up making a film out of it. Now it sounds like it's going to lead to another film. And again, I like to encourage people to find an outlet in order to help them overcome grief in their life. So good luck on the next film. By the time people watch this, Breaking the Cycle will be available on grapplingwithgrief.com, as well as our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/grapgrief. So again, this has been Harrison Reed, creator of the documentary Breaking the Cycle. Thanks for your time today.
Thank you very much.